So we are going to start off by making the magic ring, and we are going to make 8 single crochets in a magic ring. So to make a magic ring, we are going to take our white yarn and leave a little bit, and then take our 2 fingers and wrap the yarn around our 2 fingers 2 times. And then with our thumb, we are going to hold on like this, the little white tail at the end. And there you go, that's how it should be. And then we are going to take our hook and we're going to go underneath these two, and we are going to pull on the working yarn, which is the yarn connected to the skein of yarn, and we are going to pull it through and then twist like that. And then now we are going to yarn over, and to yarn over I simply put it underneath my hook, like the working yarn, which is again the yarn that's connected to the ball of yarn. We are going to connect it, we are going to put our hook underneath the working yarn and then pull through. So there's our magic ring. And now we need to make 8 single crochets in the magic ring. So to make a single crochet, we are going to go back underneath these two and then yarn over again by putting the hook underneath the working yarn and then pulling through. You have 2 loops on your hook. This is the first loop and this is the second loop. And then we are going to yarn over again and pull through. So that's your first single crochet. Now we are going to do this again. So go underneath, yarn over, pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through. So that's 2 single crochets. One more time, go underneath, yarn over, pull through. You have 2 loops. You can separate it by using your fingers, sorry. You have 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through. And then again, go underneath, pull through, yarn over, pull through. And you should be a little faster as you get the hang of this. So now that I did 8 single crochets, I'm going to remove everything, and just my hook is connected to the magic ring. So now we are going to close the hole. So I'm going to take my thumb and put it in the middle of the hole like this inside. And then you see that not the working yarn, you see that yarn tail that we left that's connected to the magic ring? We are going to pull on it downwards like this. So pull on it gently since you're working with plush yarn. And you see which one of these two, there's 2, it's just connected. So which one of these 2 is tightening on your finger? So for me, it's the one on the left, but that doesn't mean that yours is gonna be on the left. So you have to check and see for yourself which one is the one that tightens. So then you can remove your finger like this and pull on the one that tightened, gently obviously, to tighten the one that did not tighten. So you see how this one closed? So now you're left with like a big loop. Now you're going to go back to the tail that's connected to the magic ring, and you're going to pull on it again downwards. So I'm going to gently pull on it to tighten the loop that I pulled on. And there you go. It's done. And your circle should be formed. So make sure to put a stitch marker towards the last stitch. So for me, the last stitch is this one right here. But to know, I basically pulled on my hook so that my loop is looser, and then I see which stitch is closest to the loop that's on my hook. So for me, it's this one. So yeah, that's a little trick if you can't see. And then to tighten the loop, you're going to pull again on the working yarn, so the yarn that's connected to the ball of yarn. And there you go. So for the next round, we are going to do 8 increases. And an increase is basically 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. So we are going to go in the next stitch like this, and make sure to go in both, because for every stitch there's like two parts to it, the front and the back loop. I don't know if you can see, but it's like separate, they're not connected. So you go into both, and then you yarn over to make a single crochet. Remember, yarn over and pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through. So that's 1 single crochet. That's not an increase. To make an increase, you're going to go back in, so you're going to find that place that you just entered. So mine is right here, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through. So that's 1 increase. So now let's do it again. You're going to go into the next stitch, which is this one. You're going to yarn over and pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through. That's 1 single crochet. Let's go in the same stitch and then yarn over and pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through. So that's basically how you do an increase, and you can keep doing that all around until you reach the stitch marker. And make sure to do an increase in the stitch that has the stitch marker, right? So you're going to do 2 single crochets in the stitch that has the stitch marker. So I reached the stitch that has the stitch marker, so I'm going to remove it, and then I'm going to do the 2 increases, the 2 single crochets, 1, 2, and now I'm going to take my stitch marker again, and I'm going to put it in the latest stitch. So for me, I can see it, it's right here, but if you can't see it, extend your loop that's on the hook, and you can see it's right here. So then put your stitch marker in that loop, close it, and then to tighten the loop, you're going to pull on the working yarn, and you're done. That's the end of the round. So now for round 3, we are going to do 1 single crochet, the usual, and then 1 increase in the next stitch. So go into the next stitch and do 2 single crochets. So that's the pattern that we're going to follow. So in the next stitch, you're going to do 1 single crochet, and then in the next stitch, you're going to do 1 increase, and so on. So keep doing that till you reach the stitch marker, and then for the stitch marker, you're going to remove it, do an increase in the stitch that has the stitch marker, and then put it back, and you're done. So now for the next round, we are going to do 2 single crochets. So 1 single crochet in the first stitch, another single crochet in the next stitch, and then 1 increase in a different stitch. So again, 1 single crochet in 1 stitch, another single crochet in another stitch, and then 1 increase in another stitch. And keep repeating that till the end. So now for the third round, we are going to do 3 single crochets in 3 different stitches and then 1 increase. 3 single crochets in 3 different stitches and then 1 increase in a different stitch. So now we are going to do 6 rounds of just single crochets all around. So what I mean by that is that for each stitch, you're going to do 1 single crochet. No more increases. So each stitch, do 1 single crochet all around until you reach the stitch marker, and then you're going to do a single crochet in the stitch that had the stitch marker, and then you're going to put the stitch marker back in that stitch. So you're going to do that 6 times. You're going to reach the stitch marker 6 times, and then you're going to come back. So now we are going to start to decrease. So first off, we're going to do 3 single crochets, the usual, in 3 different stitches. And then we are going to decrease. So to do a decrease, we're going to go into the front loop of the first and the second stitch. So the front loop is the loop that's facing towards us. So like this side of the loop, this side of the stitch. So you know how I was telling you in the beginning that you have to go through both sides of a stitch? So the front loop is the side that's facing towards us. So we're going to go into the first front loop of the stitch, and we're going to go into the second stitch, and we're going to go into the second front loop of the second stitch. So we have 3 loops on our hook, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through 2, then yarn over and pull through the remaining 2. So that's your first decrease. So now again we are going to do 3 single crochets, and then a decrease. So go into the front loop of the first stitch, go into the front loop of the second stitch, yarn over and pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook now, yarn over and pull through both. So that's basically how you decrease, and you're going to continue the round until you reach the stitch marker. So now for the next round, we are going to do 2 single crochets and then 1 decrease, and you're going to repeat that all around. So 2 single crochets and then 1 decrease all around. So now we are going to do 1 single crochet and then 1 decrease all around. So we are going to take a little break from crocheting, and we are going to start stuffing the body, the head, until it is chubby. So for the final round, we are just going to do 8 decreases all around, and then come back so that we can fasten off and close the hole together. So to fasten off, I simply like to do slip stitch. So to do a slip stitch, you're going to go into the next stitch as if you're like single crocheting or whatever, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through. So you have 2 loops on your hook, and then with one of the loops that's on your hook, you're going to pull through and go through that loop, and you should have just 1 loop on your hook now, and that's it. And then you can leave a little bit of a tail, so not too long but not short, so that you can close off the hole. So now I'm gonna use the yarn that I left behind, and I'm going to thread it through my needle, and then to fasten off the hole closed, I'm going to go into the front loops, which is the loops that's towards us, and I'm going to go through all 8 of them. So just go through them. And then I'm going to gently pull on the tail that we left behind. So it should look like this. And now I'm going to poke it in the middle like this, and then angle the tip of the needle to go outside so that we can secure the closing. So then I like to go through a bunch of places and pull through, and then just cut your yarn and hide in the tail inside the head. So make sure to attach the felt eyes and the nose with glue before you embroider the whiskers. So now we are going to embroider the whiskers, and to do that I just like to take a piece of black yarn and thread it through my needle, and then I like to poke it out somewhere here close to the eye where I want it to be, and then make sure before you pull through the other side, make sure to hold one of the black yarn ends like this, and then now you can position it wherever you want. So I want one of the whiskers to be angled, so then I'm going to go through and poke it outwards like this. So that's the first whisker, and then I'm going to go down just a little bit so that I can do the second whisker like that. And then now I'm going to position it straight and put my hook, my needle here, and then poke it out from this side, and just like that. And then we can see the second one is good. So now we're going to again do it where we go down a little bit. And then now I'm going to angle it again like this and poke it from here to the inside, just like that. And there's our third whisker. And so then I'm going to go in from where the whiskers like yarn is. I'm going to go and point it outwards to the opposite side, so like this side, so that I can do the same thing. And then I'm going to angle it like this and go through from here to here, and then go up a little bit and make it straight. And then go up again a little bit. And then angle it. And go like this. And there you go. And then you're going to yarn over and poke it out from wherever you want it to secure it. Poke it out a couple times to secure it. And then you have it like that. You can cut the yarn and poke it inside. And then for this one, you can do the same thing where you hide it by poking it out. So go inside where it's coming from. You're going to go inside and then poke your yarn from somewhere else and pull through. And then poke your yarn through somewhere else and pull through. And then cut your yarn and hide your black. And there you go. Your Hello Kitty embroidered whiskers are done. So I have my pink yarn and we're going to start off by making the hood. So the process for the hood is the same exact steps as the head till the 3 single crochets and decrease. So we're going to repeat by doing 8 single crochets in a magic ring, and then 8 increases, and then 1 single crochet and 1 increase, and so on, until you reach the part where it says 3 single crochets and then 1 decrease all around. So we're going to repeat all these steps, and then you're going to come back for the remaining steps. So I did everything like the head up until 3 single crochets and 1 decrease, and now for 2 rounds we are going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch all around, and then we're going to fasten off and cut your yarn and then weave in the ends, so this end and also the end from the working yarn, and you're done. Then you have to just put your hood onto your head, and that's it. So I made 8 single crochets in a magic ring, and now we are going to do 8 increases. So now we are going to do 1 single crochet and then 1 increase all around. So now we are going to do 3 single crochets and then 1 increase all around. And then for the next 2 rounds we are going to single crochet in each stitch in light pink, and then come back so that we can change colors together. So I have one last stitch to make of a single crochet. So now to do that, I'm going to go in, yarn over, and pull as if I'm doing a single crochet, but I'm not gonna complete it. I'm going to go and take my next color, which is dark pink, and then I'm going to make a loop like this. Oh, there's a piece up here. I'm going to make a loop like this, and then I'm going to pull through like that. And there you go, you've connected your second color. And then now for the next 3 rounds we are going to make 1 single crochet in each stitch in the secondary color. So just simply yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through in your secondary color, and you can cut your pink yarn, and you no need to leave a tail. Just make sure to do 3 rounds of single crochets in the new color, and then fasten off by slip stitching, and then cut a long piece of yarn, because this is the yarn you're going to be using to attach the body to the head. So to make the arms, it's super easy. All you have to do is do 6 single crochets in a magic ring, and then for the next 4 rounds you're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch, and then fasten off and cut your yarn, and you're done with the arms. And so now for the ears, you're going to do 6 single crochets in a magic ring, and now for the next round we are going to do 1 increase in each stitch, so 6 increases all along. So now for the next 2 rounds we are going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch, and then fasten off and cut your yarn. So now to make the legs, you're going to do 8 single crochets in a magic ring, and then you're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch for the next 2 rounds, and then fasten off and cut your yarn. So for the bow, we're going to make a slip knot. So to do that, I like to do my yarn like this, and then I like to flip it to the opposite side like this. And then you see the yarn in the middle. I'm going to pull on it while pulling also on this yarn. So pull on it like this at the same time, and there's your slip knot. So then I like to pull on both the working yarn and the yarn tail to tighten it on my hook, and there's your slip knot. So now I'm gonna chain 20. So to chain 20, all you have to do is wrap your yarn around your hook like this. So wrap it around your hook like this, and then with your fingers you're going to pull through with the hook. So wrap your yarn and pull through, wrap your yarn and pull through. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6,
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
So I made 20 chains, and now I'm going to chain an additional 1 because it's not going to count. And so what I mean by that is that we're going to go into the second chain from our hook. So not this one, not the first chain that we just crocheted. We're going to go into the second chain, and we're going to make 1 single crochet by yarning over and pulling through, then yarning over and pulling through. So that's our first single crochet. And now we are going to do that all along the chain. So you're gonna do basically 20 single crochets, one in each stitch. So just go down the line and make 20 single crochets. So I just made my 20 single crochets, and now I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. So my work is like this. So now I'm going to turn it like that. And working on this side, you're just going to do again single crochets all along the line. So all along this side, you're going to do single crochets, and then chain again and do another round. So chain 1, and then you're going to turn your work again, and you're going to do another line of single crochets. So for now, you're just going to go along down the line and make single crochets, and then come back. So I just finished doing my 20 single crochets, and now I'm going to do 1 single crochet, 1 chain, like I said, and then turn my work again, and I'm going to do single crochets along the line again. So I'm going to repeat that 2 times. So the one I'm gonna do right now is 1 time, and then I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, and do another row of single crochets across, and then come back. So now that you're done with 2 rows of single crochets, I'm going to fold my bow like this, and then I'm going to slip stitch the opposite end like this, and then go in through this side and the opposite side and slip stitch, and then again go through this side and the opposite side and slip stitch, and continue doing that until the very end, wherever you can. Like, there's no specific amount of slip stitches that you have to do. Just wherever you find space, just do a slip stitch. And then cut your yarn and leave a long tail, because this is what we're going to do, be using to wrap the yarn around to make the bow shape. So now I'm gonna thread my needle, and I'm gonna take the long tail that we left, and I'm going to basically go through the top parts. You see the part where it's coming out? Going to go through the top parts of the bow so that I can reach the middle. And keep doing that until you reach the middle. One more. And there. Now that we reach the middle, you're going to wrap the yarn. You still using this yarn, you're going to wrap it around your bow to make the shape of the bow. And you're going to pull on it tightly. So keep wrapping it around. That's why I asked to leave a long tail, because it's gonna take a while. And make sure to pull on, tug on it a little bit to make the shape so that it looks like this. And you're done. So to make the center of the bow, I just made 6 single crochets in a magic ring, and now I'm gonna slip stitch into the first stitch, and then cut my yarn and leave a tail so that I can sew it onto the middle of the bow. So now we are going to sew the button piece onto the bow. And so just thread your yarn, the part that came from the button itself, and then you're going to go into a piece from this bow, like a stitch from the bow, for example. And then you're going to go into a stitch from the bow itself, the button, sorry, itself. And then you're going to go into a stitch from the bow, and so on. You're going to go into a stitch from the button, a stitch from the bow, and then a stitch from the button, and continue doing that until it is secured. And there you go. So now we are going to sew the body onto the head, and so we're going to take the tail that we left from the body, and then we are going to put the head on top of the body like this. Make sure that the hood doesn't show from the front, so it's like this. And then simply we're going to do the same thing as what we did with the button and the bow. So we're going to take a piece from the hood and the head, and then we're going to take a piece from the body itself, and then we're going to take a piece from the hood itself. It doesn't have to be just one stitch, because when you work with plush yarn, it's going to fall, like the fuzz is going to fall off, so you could skip a couple stitches. And then you're going to go into a piece from the body, and just keep repeating that all around until it is secure and until it looks like centered, you know what I mean? Okay guys, so this is the final product. I think it turned out super cute. And yeah, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe. Bye!